Father, thank you so much again tonight as we share together, discuss together. We receive the ministry of your spirit. Help us to be better leaders, better pastors. To the praise and glory of your name. In Jesus' name. Amen.
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 Okay, so we're looking today at the tongue as a leadership tool. The tongue as a leadership tool. Now, there are many tools or skills needed for effective leadership. Many tools, many skills needed for effective leadership. Like, strategic thinking. A leader must be able to think strategically. Decision making. A leader makes decisions. Was a decisive communication. The leader communicates. These are all tools, all skills that we must acquire. Personnel management, financial management. These are all tools. One tool that many times, we have a tendency to ignore, not maximize, is the use of the tongue, your words. We have not put enough value on the words that we speak, on how to use our words as a tool for effective leadership. So I'm going to explain this from James chapter 3, verse 1 to 5. James 3, 1 to 5 from the Message translation. We bring out 5 basic principles as to how to use the tongue as a tool for effective leadership. So I'm going to read. As I read, I will bring out some few things. James 3, 1 to 5 Message. Don't be in any rush to become a teacher. We can replace the word teacher with a leader or a pastor. So don't be in any rush to become a teacher or a pastor, a leader. It says teaching, in this case, pastoring or leading. Teaching is highly responsible work. Teachers are held to the strictest standards. Don't be in any rush to become a leader, a teacher, a pastor. Teaching is leading is highly responsible work. Teachers are held to the strictest standard. So what that means is leadership is a highly responsible work. And that means, the Bible also says, will be held to the strictest standard, So when we're judged at the judgment seat of Christ, our standard will be higher than those who are not leaders or pastors. So what that simply means is we need to acquire certain skills so that we will not be ashamed on the day of judgment. We need to know what to do to become effective so we don't lose our reward, since we will be judged with a stricter standard than others. Verse 2 says, none of us is perfectly qualified. None of us is perfectly qualified. That simply means you must never get to a point where you're overconfident in your own skills. When you're a leader or a pastor, you have a sense of inadequacy. And that inadequacy can be responded to in 2 ways. It can make you to be afraid and then, back out of what they're supposed to do. But the best way for that inadequacy is to depend on God. Depend on God. So none of us is perfectly qualified. Don't be overconfident. Because sometimes, especially if you're pastoring, you're teaching, or you're on the pulpit, you can get so used to the pulpit that you think you can get the job done. You know what to do. That's a very dangerous state to be. You must always have that sense of inadequacy that makes you depend on God every time. So that continues. We get it wrong nearly every time we open our mouths. We get it wrong nearly every time we open our mouths. In that continues, if you could find someone whose speech was perfectly true, you could find someone whose speech is perfectly true, you would have a perfect person in perfect control of life. If you could get it, if you could find someone whose speech was perfectly true, you will have a perfect person in perfect control of life. Now, this is where I want to focus on. It says leaders get it wrong with the use of their tongues. So your tongue is a very critical part of your leadership operations. If you don't get your tongue right, it's going to affect your leadership. But it says perfect speech will produce a perfect person and produce perfect control of life. Perfect speech, perfect person, perfect control of life. Now, this perfect speech your tongue will produce a perfect person, perfect control of life. So this simply means imperfect speech will produce imperfect person, imperfect control of life. So the tongue is a critical means of control, and leadership is control. You are controlling people and resources. You are giving direction. You are directing people. You are leading people. So from what we have seen so far, the tongue is a means of control. So perfect speech, perfect person, perfect control of life. Imperfect person or imperfect speech will produce imperfect person, imperfect control of life. So we can safely say where we are not having proper control now is a result of imperfect speech. Where you are lacking or deficient in your leadership, if we trace it down properly, your speech is faulty. Perfect speech, perfect person, perfect control of life. So to control life, it starts with perfect speech. So if you look at where you have a crisis, things are not working. If you check your speech is wrong. So to have perfect control of life, control of people and resources, we need to have perfect speech. The tongue is critical in being a source of control for effective leadership. So we need to understand and maximize the tongue as a tool of control. You must understand that the tongue is a tool of control. As you have strategic thinking, communication, personnel management, financial management, the tongue also is a critical tool of leadership effectiveness. So that's verse 1 and 2. So verse 3 and 4 now gives us two examples of control. Don't forget, leadership is control. Verse 3 and 4 now gives illustration of control. It says a horse is a very big animal, is controlled by a very small bit. What controls a big horse is something in the mouth that is put in the mouth of a horse. It controls the horse. Then it continues, a big sheep, some sheep are 100 feet long, they're very massive. It says a massive sheep is controlled by a very small helm, a very small rudder. So a big ship, King James says, a big ship driven by fierce wind is controlled by a very small helm, whithersoever the governor listeth. So a very big ship is controlled by a very small helm. Now, verse 5a now says in King James, even so the tongue, that is the way a small bit controls a big horse, a small helm controls a big ship, even so the tongue, that is, in the same way that a small helm controls a big ship, the tongue also is a means of control. Perfect speech, perfect person, perfect control of life. So your tongue is a means of control. If you don't know how to use the tongue to control what you are doing, there'll be a deficiency in it. Imperfect speech, imperfect person, imperfect control of life. So 5 things I'm going to look at about the control of the sheep and relate that to our own leadership. Number 1, King James says, a big ship driven by fierce wind is controlled by a very small helm, whithersoever the governor listed. So the first point in the control of a big ship is that the governor or the captain must decide his destination. He must decide where he's going. Where is the ship going? Is the ship going to Lagos or Apapa Wharf or Lekki Free Zone, or is it going to Liverpool? Whatever the governor listed, he has to decide where the ship is going. So the governor has a decision, has a destination, predetermined destination. I'll explain how that applies to leadership very soon. So the first thing is, the governor has to decide where the ship is going. So it decides, it has a decision. Are we going to Apapa Wharf? Are we going to Port Harcourt Wharf? Are we going to Liverpool? He has to have a predetermined destination, a predetermined desire. That's the first thing we say about control of the ship. Number 2, when the governor decides the ship is going to Port Harcourt or Liverpool or whatever, he now sets the helm to that destination. The helm usually have degrees, 45 degrees northeast, 30 degrees south, or whatever. So once he has decided where the ship is going, he sets the ram on the helm or the rudder to the direction where the ship will go to. So he has a predetermined destination and desire. Then he sets the helm in the direction. Very important. Number 3, when he sets the helm, he has to lock that helm in that direction. He has to lock it. So number 1, it has a desire. Where are we going? What is our destination? Number 2, he sets the helm in the direction where his desire is going. 3, he has to lock that helm so that the helm doesn't turn back or turn left. One simple change in the degree of the helm, the ship will land in the wrong place. So number 1, it has a desire. What do I want to achieve? Where are we going? Number 2, it sets the helm in the direction it wants to go. Number 3, he locks it. He secures that helm. He secures it in that particular place. Number 4, the ship does not turn immediately in the direction of the helm. It turns gradually and slowly. Because some ships are, 100 meters long. Some ships have 4 stories and all that. So when you turn the helm, it doesn't move in that direction immediately. It is a gradual movement of the ship. So when you turn it, it will gradually be turning in the direction you have locked the helm. So if you are not very observant, you might think I've set the helm, but the ship is not moving in the right direction. No, it moves gradually before it will turn to the destination. Then number 5, the ship remains and moves in the set direction of the helm. It does, except you reset it. Once you reset it, that ship is destined to arrive at the destination the governor has decided. So 5 things. Number 1, the governor or the captain has decided where he's going. Once he decides, he goes to the helm and sets the helm to that direction. Number 3, he locks the helm so the helm doesn't change. Because 1 degree change is a disastrous change. He locks the helm. Number 3, the ship gradually moves. Once it turns it doesn't just turn like that. It's like, you're driving a trailer. When you drive a trailer, you turn the side of a trailer, the trailer doesn't turn immediately. It has, because of its long. So the ship doesn't turn immediately, but eventually it will turn in the direction. And number 5, that ship will remain in the direction it has been set by the helm. So let's apply those 5 principles to leadership. Number 1, you're going to be able to be effective in your leadership and use the tongue as a tool of effective leadership. Number 1, you must decide your destination. Decide your destination. By this, have specific desires. Let me give 3 examples. How many members do you want to have before the end of the year? Have a desire. 50 members, 40 members. Every seat fills to capacity. Have specific desire. Property, we're buying a property. You must have specific desire. And like I usually say, these principles apply to a private life, so I'm focusing on church. Have specific desires. The governor decides, it's on whatever the governor listed. The governor decides where. So where are you going before the end of the year? How many members do you want to have at the end of the year? How much money do you want to have before the end of the year? What property do you want to buy? Have specific desires. God bless our ministry. God bless our marriage. God bless our family. That is not a desire. It doesn't work like that. God works on our desire. Whatever things you desire when you pray, believe you have it. So how many members you want to have this year? Set the destination. Decide what you want. 50 members, 100 members, property for the church, keyboard, drums. Decide the destination. We want to raise 5 leaders, specific desires. Number 2, once the governor decides where he wants to go to, the second thing he does, which we now do, is to set the helm to the destination. Now, the helm here is our tongue. So once you decide 50 members, new property, keyboard, drums, 5 leaders, then set your tongue in that direction. Set your tongue in that direction. That is, begin to speak out your desire. Even so, the tongue is a small member, control many things. So the tongue has to be, you have to speak your desire out. You're speaking your desire is setting the helm of the ship. If you don't speak it out, then the ship can go in any direction. It can be driven by fierce winds. So you set your helm, your tongue, to your destiny. That is, you speak out your desire in 5 dimensions, at least 5 dimensions. Number 1, you speak it out in prayers. So when you are praying out, you are setting your helm in prayer by speaking out your desire in prayer. Father, we thank you because this year we have 50 members. Father, we thank you because this year we have a keyboard. We thank you because we have a property. What am I doing? I'm setting the helm direction of my desires. So I speak it out in prayer. Number 2, I speak it out in confessions. So your desire must be converted to confessions. We declare this year we have 50 members. We declare this year we have our own property. Confessions. Number 3, you speak it out in declarations. We declare this year we have 50 members. And when you are doing confession and declaration, your tense is either present tense or past tense, not future tense. Don't say we will have 50 members. That's not a confession. That's not a declaration. You don't say we will get a keyboard this year. We'll buy land this year. No. Your confession declaration is in the past tense or in the present tense. Faith calleth those things we be not as though they were. Now faith is. Not now faith will be. Faith does not be. Now faith is. Faith is in the past or present, not in the future. Not we will have 50 members, we'll buy land, we'll do this. No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Like I said, these things apply in your private life also. So you don't make declaration in the future. We're going to buy our house this year. You won't buy that house. So your confession, the declaration is in the present tense or in the past tense. God who calls those things we be not as though they were. Now faith is. So you speak your desire, you set the helm of your life, of your church by prayers, confession, declaration. Number 4, you set the helm of your life privately. And number 5, you declare it on the pulpit. So every once in a while, get to church and say, ladies and gentlemen, this year, every seat will be filled to capacity. This year, we're getting property. So the governor decides destination. What are your desires? Your private desires, your church desires, for equipment, how many members you want to have? You have desire. God works on desire. If you don't have desire, there's nothing for God to work with. He satisfies the desire of every living thing. Have desires. Whatever things you desire when you pray, desire. Once you have desire, you set your tongue. Your tongue is your helm. You set your tongue in line with your desires. You speak it out. You speak it out. You don't think it. You speak it out. You don't have to shout, but it has to be spoken. You speak it out. So that when you speak it out, you have set the helm of your life in that direction. So you speak 50 members, speak 100 members, you speak property, you speak equipment. If you look at Isaiah 55:11, Isaiah 55:11 says, so shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. So your desire must be spoken. So shall that go out of my mouth. It says, it shall not return to me void. It shall accomplish that which I please. Desire, desire, desire. Voice out your desires in prayers, in confession, declarations, privately, and publicly. It shall accomplish that which I please. There must be a desire. Don't just say, God bless me, God bless my business, God bless my marriage. Those are not desires. The governor of the ship can just say, we're traveling to London, or we're traveling to the UK, we're traveling to Nigeria. We're in Nigeria, we're in UK. So you must have specific desires and then speak it out. It is speaking out is critical. It shall accomplish that which I please, and prosper in the thing whereunto I sent it. Your desires must be spoken out and sent in specific direction. 100 members, 50 members, our income is XYZ, we're buying a house or whatever. So you have desires and you speak it out. You speak it out. That also means you never set your helm to a wrong direction. So if you now complain, you are setting your ship in the wrong direction. If you are talking small, you are setting your ship in the direction of smallness. If you keep saying members are not serious, you are setting your ship to unseriousness. People do not give. Then you have a church of people who do not give. People are not committed. You are setting the ship in the realm of uncommitted people. So if you say people are not committed, you notice you have a lot of uncommitted people. These people are not giving. You notice people are not giving. If you are so you don't complain. When you say the wrong things, you have set the direction of your life in the wrong destination. So because there's a tendency, especially when you're pastoring, sometimes some things don't work. If you are not careful, the devil pressures you to say the wrong thing. People are not serious. People are not giving. People are not committed. People don't come to meeting. No, we don't speak like that. Because once you speak, you have set the direction of the ship in the wrong location. That's why, the things we complain about has not changed because we don't understood the power of the tongue as a leadership tool. People are not serious. You notice people are not serious. More and more people are not getting serious. People are not giving the way they are giving. I don't know, this giving is not working. You notice you don't have enough funds to do what you want to do. So don't speak negatively. If there's a problem, deal with the problem, but don't set the ship in the direction of the problem. Leaders solve problems. When you speak about problems, then you come to church on a Sunday, and then, you maybe want to do a seminar, and half of the church is not there. And I say, I don't understand you people. We do seminars, you don't come, and people are not serious and all that. You are setting the direction of that church to an unserious destination. So if there's a problem, we are designed to solve problems, not to be commentator on problems. Now we can get to leadership and say, okay, this is the problem we have. What are we talking about in the leadership so we can get solution? But you don't get to the pulpit and just declare, I've been trying to raise 100,000 naira for 6 months. I don't know why people are not giving. People should. We don't talk like that. We don't talk like that. Once you talk like that, you notice you never have enough money to do what you want to do. We have been calling for evangelism. Nobody is showing off evangelism. That means people don't love God. You see God is not your priority. You notice that is what you get. So set your helm in the direction you want to go to. Stop complaining. Stop commenting on problems. Once you comment on problems, you are setting the helm of that church in the wrong direction. If there's a problem, solve the problem. Stop complaining about your spouse. You never listen to me. You never listen. You notice that the guy doesn't listen. You woman, I don't know, you're too stubborn. You notice she becomes more and more stubborn. Because the tongue is the direction. This child is getting too troublesome. They are getting too troublesome. You notice getting more troublesome. So if the child is troublesome, don't need to comment on it. Find out why he or she is troublesome and let's solve the problem. But don't now use your mouth to set the direction of the child going in troublesome state. I've seen cases where, a father says, you this boy, they will get into trouble. Your eye will see. And the boy will get into trouble because your tongue is a tool of control. So if there's a problem, solve the problem. Don't get to the pulpit and just because you're angry, you're disappointed, you're saying things that you are not wondering why the church is not growing, why you don't have enough money and all that. So never set your hand in the wrong direction. Now look at Proverbs 18:21 message. Proverbs 18:21 message. Words kill, words give life. They are either poison or fruit you choose. Proverbs 18:21 message. Words kill, words give life. They are either poison or fruit you choose. So what have you been speaking to the church? Is it poison or fruit? When you complain on the pulpit, you are speaking poison. When you speak negative, you are speaking poison. When you say, oh, the way my body is doing, I don't even understand why my body is reacting like this, you are speaking poison. I don't understand why my wife is always, I don't know, you are just too stubborn, and you have changed, you are this, you are that, you are speaking poison. Words kill, words give life, they're either poison or fruit you choose. So what are we choosing by our mouth? Where are we setting the direction of our ship? So I'm not saying you don't deal with politics. Leaders solve problems. Leaders solve problems. Solve the problem. Stop making comments. You, this boy, the way when you get into trouble, you will see, you will learn your lesson the hard way. He will learn it the hard way. And I don't understand. The way Christianity these days is not that serious. When we got born again, we were very serious. But these days, Christianity is not the serious thing. We notice people in the church are serious people. So don't speak poison to the work of your hand. You determine the direction, control. That says perfect speech, perfect person, perfect control of life. So notice where things are not working now. If you check out your speech, it is wrong speech. If you go to Numbers 13, when the 12 spies went to spy the promised land, 10 of them gave a wrong report, where we were like grasshoppers in their side, so we were in their side. They did not enter the promised land. Caleb and Joshua spoke the right things. So understand your words set the direction, your words control. We can't afford to be careless. Your words are anointed. Don't speak poison to your marriage. Don't speak poison to your finances. Don't speak poison to church membership. So, number one, I said, is have specific desires. 50 members, 100 members, property, our income every month is, £5,000 or whatever. Then speak in that direction. Don't speak contrary to it. Number three, don't forget the governor locks the helm. He has to lock it. Because if he doesn't lock it, the thing can change. So how does that apply to us? Never change your confession. Lock your confession in that direction. See, the problem most times, is people are praying and believing God, and then something, doesn't work at a certain time. They say, I don't care. I'm not even interested and all that. They have changed the direction of the helm. You lock your helm. Never change your confession. The helm has to be locked in the direction of your desires. Mark 11:23 says, whatever things you desire when you believe shall, it says, whosoever shall say unto this mountain, be thou removed, be thou cast to the sea, and shall not doubt in his heart, locked. Shall not doubt in his heart, locked. You lock your desire in your confession. You don't change it, you lock it. We don't walk by sight, but by faith. You lock it. Why do you lock it? Because once the governor turns the helm, the ship does not turn immediately. The ship does not turn immediately. You can't turn 100 meters ship with just one button like that. It has to take time before it turns. That's why you lock the helm. You lock your confession. You don't change your confession. You don't walk by sight but by faith. So once you lock the helm, immediately you lock it, the ship begins to turn. Initially, it is not visible, but with time it begins to turn. So when you are doing your confession, whatever you are confessing has begun to work. But you are not seeing it. You are not seeing it. So that's why you lock it, because you are not seeing the movement, you are not seeing the change, but you have locked it. So because it is locked, that ship will eventually turn in that direction. But you see, if you now don't lock it, you now say this is not working, then you have reset the hem in another direction. And that's where most of the time people fail when they are believing God for things, because they don't know that once they have spoken, the hem has been said, but because they don't lock it, they change their confession. I'm believing God for a child. Then I see my message. Oh, I see my message. Oh, this is not working, not working. They have adjusted the hem in another direction. Once you set, you lock it. You lock it. Your spouse is misbehaving or whatever, and then you realize you have been confessing, my spouse is nice, is decent, is obedient, and all that, and is misbehaving. You don't say, you see, I've started your trouble again. No, you have changed the hem. Lock it. Lock it. Yeah, you say, okay, we have 50 members, and then the next Sunday you have 20 people. Don't say, what is happening? No, lock your confession. Once you start your confession, the ship has begun to move. We don't walk by sight but by faith. Keep your confession strong. Keep your declaration strong. Keep it there. Keep it locked. Once you change your confession, the ship has gone in a different direction. And that also means any small change you see, celebrate it. Any small change you see, celebrate it. 50 members, and then you have 2 first-timers, celebrate those 2 first-timers. That is 2 out of 50. The ship does not turn immediately in the direction. A person believes God for children, the menses come late. Celebrate the late menses that came. It's normally come on the 28th of the month. It happens on the 4th of the next month. Thank God that at least it is going to be something is moving. It is moving. You are trusting God. Okay, our monthly income is 100,000 naira. And then you only have 50,000. Thank God. The ship is moving. Lock it there. Don't change the direction with your mouth. The ship does not move immediately. The rudder is set. It moves gradually. So any small 2 first-timers, 1 first-timer, celebrate. Now, we are believing God for property. Let me, for example, how we got the second property in the headquarters. You know, sometimes you take building offering is 2,000 naira. That doesn't buy cement. But you see, that is 2,000 naira less than 10 million. Celebrate that 2,000 naira. That is 2,000 naira less than 10 million that you did. Don't say, what is 2,000? And then you say, you're not taking building offering. No. It's 1,500 naira that is building offering. Thank God that is 1,500 naira less than what you need. Don't change the direction and say, this building offering is not working. I mean, imagine the old offering, we have 50 people in church, they'll give 1,500 naira. Let's not, no, you have changed the direction. So, lock your confession. Don't let the devil pressure you to change your confession. So, small victories, celebrate. Small victory, you celebrate. Somebody that is coming late. He comes there for 30 minutes. One day, only comes there for 15 minutes. Celebrate that at least the ship is moving 15 minutes as been removed from his or her lateness. Don't say, you never change. You never change. I'm warning you. You always come late. You have changed the direction of the ship. Lock it. Person comes late, but he comes late for I want to thank God for your life. Things are working now. You normally come late for 30 minutes, but you came late for only 15 minutes. Things are working. Celebrate small changes. Don't let the ship that is not moving very fast make it to now say, this is not working, Gary. This child is not improving. No. Then, number 5, the ship, like I said, the ship will keep going in the direction of the helm as long as you don't reset the helm. So if you are moving from Greece to Newcastle, And once you have set the helm to Newcastle, that ship will keep going to Newcastle. So the ship will go to the destination as long as it's not reset. It will arrive there. So as long as you don't change your confession, you will arrive at the place. And you must understand, as long as you're on the right direction, it's a matter of time you arrive at your destination. As long as you're on the right direction, you will arrive at your destination. It's a matter of time. So if you're going to Lagos from Ibadan and you're walking on foot, you will get to Lagos. It might take you 6 months or 3 months. But you're in the right direction, you get to Lagos. You're going by Okada, you will arrive in Lagos. It's a matter once you're in the right direction. So when you are doing your confession, that's like the tongue as a tool of leadership effectiveness. Don't change your confession. You run a business, we have 10 consistent customers who bring in 10,000 naira business every week. Don't change that confession. Lock it there. That business will eventually have 10 customers who bring 10,000 naira business every week. As long as you don't change the helm, don't change the direction. So you arrive the problem most times is we are changing and changing and changing and changing and changing. And then, you get to Lagos, you move from Lagos to Benin, from Lagos to Shagamu. You don't have destination. So, as you said earlier, we read in the scripture, perfect speech, perfect person, perfect control of life. It says, we miss it in the words of our mouth. So if you check what is not working now, you will see that the word of your mouth is wrong. You are saying the wrong things. Sometimes you say the right thing and then you change again. We don't have money. We have money. People are committed. People are not committed. Once you understand this, you are not going to move by what is happening. We don't walk by sight, but by faith. So when it's not working, you know that I've set this direction. I've set the direction to this place. It's going to work. It's a matter of time. If it's not working, find out what is not working. Leaders solve problems. Solve the problem. Don't make comment. I don't know what is happening. You people in church, we say bring people to church. You don't bring people to church. I don't know. No. Find out why people are not bringing people to church. Facilitate them bring people to church. But don't get to the point and say people are not bringing people to church. That's why we're not going in church. Now you say we're not praying. No, we don't do that. You are changing the helm. So the only way the devil can get a Christian, because you have a hedge operation around you, number one is sin. Number two, the words of our mouth. Once you have spoken, God told the people in Numbers 13, as you have spoken in my ear, so shall it be. Your words are either activating demons or activating the angels. So set your helm. So what I'm saying today is consciously use your tongue as a tool of leadership effectiveness. Consciously. Have definite confessions that it might look like it's not working, but you know it is working. So we have committed, faithful, vibrant, and loyal members. We have committed, faithful, vibrant, and loyal members. You keep saying that. Every seat at every meeting is filled to capacity. We are standing room only. We have 50 members. That's your confession. That's your prayer. We have every conceivable resource for effective ministry. We have keyboard. We have property. You are confessing that consistently. It might not look like it's working, but you understand the ship is turning. You arrive at your destination. So let's control the church. Perfect speech, perfect person, perfect control of life. Control the church, control finances, control attendance by your tongue. By your tongue. Don't say things that, the way my body is doing, I don't know. No, leaders don't talk like that. Very important. So let's understand the tongue is a means of control. The tongue is a tool of leadership effectiveness. So check where things are not working in church or working in your life. If you check it out, your tongue is this problem. Okay, there are other factors. We're looking at the tongue today. Where you are having problems with your spouse, check what you are saying. and you are too stubborn, and you don't listen, you don't respect me. If you notice, that is what is prevalent. And we don't have enough money in church. We can't do what we want to do. If you notice, there's no money. And people are not committed. I don't know, people are not coming to meeting. If you notice, that is where the problem is. Perfect speech, perfect person, perfect control of life. So let's understand that and use that tool consciously. Have a desire. There's a desire. We have 50 committed, faithful, vibrant, loyal members in the church. That's your confession. That's your prayer. Get to church on a Sunday. Do you know, ladies and gentlemen, just look around with the eye of faith. We have 50 members in this church. People are wondering, what's happening? Only 5 people. We have 50 members in this church. Every seat in this church is filled with people. Our land is ready. Confession. Stay with it. Lock your confession in. And then with time, then as you begin to use your confession, you now begin to have ideas. God will now begin to give you ideas, will lead you to places and to things that will make that confession to be a reality. That's when you now meet someone and say, there's a land somewhere that we want to sell, or is your church interested? That's when you have an idea to do an outreach in a particular area. It is the result of your confession. That's why you have an idea. Why don't you write, do an outreach for the community? That's why you now have an idea. Why don't you raise another offering next week? When you raise that offering next week, which is not the budgeted offering, you raise it next week, you get 50,000 naira. So as you're confessing, God will now begin to die because your ship is now moving in that direction. Ideas will come, suggestions will come, thoughts will come to you. Maybe your spouse is doing something. So why don't you take her for lunch? Why don't you give her money or something? And then she says, I'm sorry for what I've been doing for you. And then, you begin to have ideas and suggestions because you have locked that ship to go in that direction. That's when the Bible says all things will now work together for your good. But once you begin to change your confession, then, it's yo-yo. People come to church, you're happy. They don't come, you're not happy. You have money, you're happy. You don't have money, you're not happy. No, lock it. As you lock it, then ideas will come. Suggestions will come. Ideas will come to do certain things or not to do certain things. Okay, so let's take questions. Are there any questions? Any questions?
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Regarding not using your mouth or your tongue to say negative things, if you're having like body ache, you're really not feeling well, and people can see your eyes and they're asking you, what's wrong? So how do you address that?
Okay, very, very good question. Now, you don't share your problem with people who cannot help you. You don't share your problem with people who cannot help you. So there's body ache, there's this, what's wrong with you? I'll be fine. I'm fine. But now your pastor now asks you, what's wrong with you? Pastor, the way my leg is doing, I want to fall down. Because the pastor can pray for you. I need money. I need 100,000. As one says, Pastor, I hope you're okay. I'm very fine. Because I know you can't give me 100,000 naira. But somebody now says, are you okay? Are you sure you're financially okay? Actually, I need 100,000 to balance what I want to do because I know it can help. So you don't share your problem with people who cannot help you. If you share with them, they will say, sorry, it's okay. But somebody who can help you, then, like we say, we don't talk faith to your doctor, don't talk faith to your lawyer. You tell the lawyer, I did that, you have to help me out. Doctor, the way you understand. But somebody will ask you, why are you looking like this? Don't worry, I'm fine. I'll be okay. I'm okay. I'm fine. Because what they will tell you will not help you. But somebody can help you now share with the person. So that's the principle we apply.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
And then you don't now aggravate them. It's my leg, my leg, This thing comes every winter. Every winter my leg always swollen and all that. We don't say that. Just say, I'm fine. But somebody can pray for you and say, every winter, let me break this yoke. Every winter, this thing comes, break it for me. Then he prays. That's the principle. Okay, another question. Okay, so let's get it will take you time to get used to this thing, but as you get used to it, you now realize it comes as a makes life easy, because the devil uses us against ourselves most of the time. But once you get used to it, you now realize there's some things you don't understand. Don't allow people to change the direction of your ship by their comments. Do you understand? Correct them. They say, the way this thing is working, this thing can't work. Don't worry, it will work. It will work. It is working. It is working. Don't worry. It's a matter. Don't worry, it is working. So don't allow people to just, change the direction of a rudder. I had an incident some few weeks ago with my car. And then the person said, the tires are bad. I said, my tires are not bad. My tires are not bad. Go to the mechanic and then, well, my tires are not bad. Say, I'm sorry, sir. So allow people to change the helm of your ship. Say, the way this country is, this thing you are doing, it won't work. I say it will work. Don't worry, it will work. Immediately they will apologize. But do you understand that? So let's understand that. Okay, any question? If there's no, we'll close. Okay. Now, again, the balance is, like I said, you've got some people go to the extreme of these things. Faith calls those things which be not as though they were. Faith does not call what is as if it doesn't exist. I said that again. Faith calleth those things which be not. So it is not, you call it as if it is. Faith does not call what is as if it doesn't exist. What is wrong with you? The devil has a dick. That is not faithful. That's foolishness. What is wrong with you? My enemy does not have money. That is foolishness. You don't have money. Faith calls those things which be not as though they were. Please borrow me 10,000 naira. I don't say I don't have money. No. As at now, I cannot borrow you 10,000 naira. Don't say, if you know what I'm going through, you won't ask me for 10,000. The bill I have now is 100,000 deficit. I don't have any money. No. You have set the direction of your finances to broke. But you don't have 10,000. Okay, as of today, I don't have 10,000 naira to borrow you. That simply means tomorrow I can borrow you. So be careful with your speech. So don't say the devil has a dick or my enemy has a dick. Your enemy might even be very strong. So, okay, if there's no other question, we'll just call it a day. So thank you for your time. So let's put this into practice, please, to make a lot of difference. So thank you for your time. Enjoy the rest of the day, enjoy the evening, and enjoy the rest of the week. So God bless you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.